Hello and welcome back to PopCulture Acts as we are working our way through VOB's Retus and we are at the final track of the album School Revolution. So, as we mentioned in the last video, some of this stuff has been like in EPs and singles and stuff that have been there for a while. This one originally coming out in 2018. So I think this is like their earliest
Yeah,
release.
in theory, I mean, it should be the most. It's the furthest removed in time, isn't it, from
Yeah,
the album release? And 5 years is a long time in anything, especially in music. So I am particularly interested to kind of see, and for it to be at the end of the album. You know, there's a part of me that goes evolution of the band, but maybe that there isn't much change. Maybe 5 years ago they were in the same kind of mindset and they feel that it sits. But yeah, interested to see why and whether it kind of fits as the final song of this. Spoilers because we'll get to it after this song. Brilliant album.
yeah. So shall we start the revolution in school?
Yeah, and again, we talk about stuff that speaks to us, whichever way this goes. I get, we've never really massively spoken about our school years, but I guess you were probably much the same as me and thought that school sucked. So I'm quite happily have a revolution from it.
Let's go.
Well, let's do this. I feel for anyone in 2018 hearing this as their first single because anyone who heard this in 2018 had to go 3 years until they got the next single, whereas we
Yes.
get to experience it all in one go. So, yeah, School Revolution, how was it for you?
Um, Obviously, you could tell that this is early for them because even though it is fucking great, it is a little bit rough. It's got you can see where all their ideas have obviously come from, and they see are tighter and more accomplished with how they play and stuff. Obviously, for being a band for 5 years longer before, like, see the rest of some of this stuff has come out, but they've everything that makes them what they are is there
Yeah.
in that and it shows early, which you know shows that they're clearly this is very much them and they are staying that course and that's the sound and the vibe that they want to do. You know, if this is your first metal song and you're writing something this good, it's that thing of, as you say, you wouldn't have wanted to be waiting as long as it has been for the album to get out because
Yeah.
there's clearly fucking talent in there. As I said, having this at the end of the album, I think is quite good because it sort of goes, and here is where it started. So you've got like this is where we are now. Here is where we were, and then you then obviously when they come out with a second album at some point, you've got that sort of jump into, and now we're in the future again. But yeah, fuck me, they're talented. That's the thing. You see this early footage and thinking of how like this is the first thing they come out with, and you're like, there are people that are 4 or 5 albums deep before they're writing something.
Well, what kept going through my head whilst listening to it was kind of the anthem esque song, isn't it? Like this for me is probably the one that, well, certainly initially got the crowds into them, but I could see this being one that people really look forward to at gigs. And yeah, to hit that for your first song, that's pretty special, isn't it? Loved the vocal performance going between languages, but also loved the vocal performances going whilst going in between languages, going through that frenetic rap styling that
Yeah,
you often hear be used in metal or rock if rap is into the singing. And I think they work so well together, don't they? Because it's the bit where we sing it, it's deliberately paced less, but I think that just works so great. You come out of this, it's almost a da 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 melodic melodic, which is
yeah,
something we've talked about that they do so smartly with their music. They use pacing and scaling of music to an exceptional degree. And you're right, this is I say their first song. It's not their first song, but it's the first song that they kind of come out with. I can see why it's their first single. I can see why there was a lot of interest in them based off of this. But yeah, you're right. You can see the DNA in here of where we get to on some of the other tracks of the album. You can see that they kind of spent the 5 years. Well, I say 5 years. Let's go with 4 years because they were probably recording a lot of these songs over that period. But how they
yeah,
spent the next 4 years, I was gonna say honing their craft, but probably building their confidence,
yeah,
building their ability to kind of go, no, this is what I want this song to be. I don't need to lean necessarily into being a crowd pleaser. This is going to please a crowd by us just writing the way we want to write and using that talent that they have built in. And like for the first sort of 90 seconds of this song, I thought I was going to come on to this and go, oh, this is the track on the album that I think the drums excelled the most.
Mm.
I think the drumming work in that first 90 seconds really stands out, and that's no criticism of anywhere else. Just sometimes something jumps to the fore, but then the vocal performance kind of stole the show for me for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Then back to the guitar work, back to the bass work. Yeah, they're firing on all cylinders. There's no weak parts to anything that I think they're doing on this track.
No, it is, as I said, you can see in this how and where we get and how we got to,
Yeah,
everything else that we've had so far. And, just showing that even then the level of chops they had, then obviously with all the covers and all the other bits and pieces that they've done up until getting the album out, it's just like, yeah, everything you've done has ended up meaning that we are where we are today, and the world is a better place for it.
yeah.
So the album as a whole,
You didn't like it's rubbish, wasn't it? I
it's
probably
fucking
shouldn't say
awful.
that because sarcasm doesn't always go down so well on YouTube as we found out sometimes in comments.
Yes.
It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's even better than I thought it was going to be. So I come into this going, I like this band. I think they've got something about them. But I thought we'd get a good album. I did. I thought, and I didn't want to get too carried away, but I was hoping at the very least we'd get that. I didn't think we'd get an album anywhere near as good as we actually did get, and I didn't think I'd enjoy it anywhere near as much as I have done. I don't listen to a lot of new albums. One of the reasons for doing this channel was to stop getting stuck in the rut of listening to stuff you really, really like over and over again. So when I kind of go where I'm going to go next, like bear that in mind as context. But one of the best albums I've listened to for a long time, as a whole piece, as an album, and for this to be someone's first album, and again for context, some bands have managed to smash out a great first album and then fall off a cliff, but this is excellent. I'll let you talk about it kind of as a piece, and then maybe we'll jump back into maybe some of the highlights of it after that.
Yeah. So the thing was, for me going in, I was like, are they going to be that the sort of band that you will have one or two oh my god moments, and then the rest of it's a little bit,
All right. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
there's your album fillers. You
Yeah.
you had to get 8 tracks together to do the release, so you've just thrown some bits in. But everything they do is different on here, and everything fits, and everything is a fucking outstanding level of quality as well. You know,
And when you say about that differences, it doesn't feel like it's a demo tape, does it? It doesn't
no,
feel like it's a, oh well, this is the
here's
track
our
where we do
thrash
this,
song,
and
here's
yeah,
our
yeah, yeah,
system
yeah,
song, here's our raid
yeah,
song. Yeah, no.
yeah.
Everything has the same DNA and them flowing through all of it, but they are all different. They all have you could tell where the influences are sat behind each one. But yeah, as I said, I came in expecting one or two to have one or two good songs and the
Yeah.
rest be filler, but they have smashed every single one out of this.
I think when we talk about expectations of coming in as well, I thought that if I was going to if I was going to think that any particular part of it was going to be the weakest part, I thought it would be vocally, and it wasn't for me. And partially that's because I've been so impressed with the drums and the guitars and the bass in things that we've done before. I thought that's those would be the slam dunks, but I thought this was vocally, and as I say, we spent most of our time listening to them sing other people's songs,
Yeah,
but to hear what they are going to do vocally, or what they did, sorry, and hopefully what they're going to continue to do. I'm pleased to say that the thing that I thought would be the weakest part in no way was weaker than any other parts for me.
exactly. So, Mister
Album
Said,
highlights. best tracks doing that,
What
or
what is your one?
it's very hard, isn't it, to pick? So I think there's some real highlights in it, and as we said, because they play in a lot of musical wheelhouses, there's a lot of joy and there's a lot to talk about. But I at this point, and I think it will stay this way for a long time. Bearing in mind, I've just talked about how strong I think the vocals are on here. I think Kawani takes it for me. The instrumental, I just think as a piece of music, as a piece of art, piece of craft, that there's something quite special about what they did there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
For you,
Kawani is close, as is uh, what the Holy Noble today. Just because, as I said, that's the best System of a Down song since Mesmerize and Hypnotize, and that was
yeah,
what 2005.
yeah,
But for me, it's that fucking money riff that's in The Enemy of Earth Is You. Just
yeah,
that
yeah.
that as of at the moment on a first go through, that's the one. But you ask me
Nice,
tomorrow
isn't
when
it?
I'm playing
Yeah.
this, when I'm playing it at work tomorrow, and it'll be probably something different. But as of at the moment, Enemy of Earth Is You is my
I
one.
said on one of the previous videos, I think we've been quite lucky, but also lucky by a degree of design of trying to not do albums of stuff we don't think we'll like. And we've had a few where you've almost had quite nice bits where you go, there's so much stuff on this album that my mood might influence which one becomes my favourite of which day. And again, the more you live with the album, the more certain ones may end up resonating with you. But there's a lot of really strong contenders on here, isn't there? Isn't there?
Yeah,
And that's not easy to do. You said it earlier about a lot of people have dined out for their whole careers on knocking out an album with two absolute bangers on it and a load of filler, but the bangers are so good that it kind of carries them through. I'm getting none of that here. I'm going that I don't even feel like there was a weak part for me. I think when I'm looking at it, I kind of go, yes, there might be some even stronger parts, but
yeah,
its weakest tracks excel beyond what a lot of other ones do. And yeah, come back to this. We record this again in a week's time after listening to it a lot, and maybe, just maybe, I've changed my mind. But yeah, something about Kawani grabbed me and hasn't let go yet, and I don't think he's going to let go for quite a while. So I presume, as you loved it like I did, I presume we're both coming back for album two whenever album two comes out.
yes. When album two is released, we will definitely be back on the VOB train for that. Obviously, in the meantime, don't worry. There's plenty of covers that we've got in the list to come up.
Well,
Um,
and now, and because they've been doing a US tour, haven't they? Now that we've reacted to the album, it means we can start sneaking into watching some of the live performances of some of these songs as well, which I'm
exactly.
very keen to get to. Just one thing I wanted to say about the band. I think one of the things that this is a truly great example of is we said it on the live performances, we said it throughout this is it doesn't matter where you're from or what your background is. Um, Talent, skill, joy, and love for music. This is what can happen. Now, when I say it doesn't matter where you're from, I wanted to jump back to that and go, and considering that this is was probably quite difficult for them to get
Yeah.
to. They're not you and me. They weren't probably in a world that, and again we've got no musical talent. I'm not suggesting our album's coming out, but Christmas number one maybe this year. Um, we probably would have had the ability to attempt to make an album like this without any of the judgment that they pick up on some of the songs so easily. So you take all of that as I say, that joy, that love, that skill, that talent, and the drive, and the want to do it so much, and want to kind of probably have to fight a lot to be
Yeah.
even allowed. And I hate the fact that I say that in 2023 But I hate the fact that you could say that in so many years preceding 2023 that people might have even not been allowed to do this. And I'm going to wax lyrical and go back into my hyperbole of going, this great piece of art in another universe on another day wouldn't have been allowed to come into existence. And I think
Yeah.
that somewhat makes it even more special because it is unlikely that it happened. And my yeah, it puts an album I love into an even higher stratosphere for me.
Yes. So, you lot out there, comments, let us know about the album as a whole.
Yeah.
School Revolution as the song. Um, Obviously, as you know, we've now done the whole album. So, if you find decent live versions of stuff, pop them down
Yes.
there. I can get them in the list.
And
Um,
also, like in our comments, we get a lot of comments from fans of the band. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. It's lovely speaking to you all, and generally such nice, polite people. But one thing I will ask for the comments on this one is, I get how much everyone loves this band. Let us know what other bands you love. Really, really are interested to see what fans of this band, what else they listen to, what they're vibing to, and especially if it's if it's some of their influences, yeah, brilliant because we love those bands as well. But yeah, what else? And it doesn't matter where in the world it's from. That's been one of the joys of doing this Reacts thing is we've got to listen to a lot of bands that we probably wouldn't have come onto our radar. Although maybe these would because but like uh, just let us know what you're listening to because if it's anything like this, we're down for more.
yes. And as always, YouTube things of like, subscribing, and ringing bells. And until next time, and me hopefully being less hoarse for the next set of recordings.
No, I'm going to keep him sick forever.
You just love the huskiness.
It is. It is. He doesn't realise it, but I've been popping around his house and giving him flu injections regularly. That's a total lie, by the way. He lives bloody miles away, and I can't drive, so I wouldn't do that. Nothing to do with the humanity of it, just the laziness of it.
Yes. So until next time, goodbye.